let me tell you. For this video, you're gonna need something strong and you're gonna need something to chase it with, because I'm telling you, you might not even need a chaser. Let me go make this string.
I know I can't afford to stop.
This is a story time, my first story time actually, about the time that I gave Idris Elba my phone number. Let's just get right to it. This is how it all began. I went to college in Baltimore, Morgan State University. Go Morgan Bears. So I started hearing about this show, The Wire, right? It was really big in Baltimore. It was filmed in Baltimore. I'm sure they probably filmed in other places, but the whole premise of it was set around Baltimore, Maryland, right? In like the inner city. I went to school about 15 minutes from that area where they were shooting. So I was a liberal arts major with a concentration in theater. So we would hear about auditions and, you know, we would hear about them needing extras and stuff like that. So that's what kind of sparked my interest in The Wire. Like, what's this Wire? The Wire? I keep hearing about it, right? Maybe like my freshman year I started hearing about it, and then by sophomore year, you know, they had auditions for like the next season, something like that. And I was just like, I need to like look into this, right? So I started watching the show. I instantly was hooked on Stringer Bell, right? So Stringer Bell is the character that Idris played, right? So basically I just fell in love with him. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to like sugarcoat it. I feel like my hair is everywhere right now. I live in another state, so I was going to school in Maryland and then I live somewhere else. So I went home. I started hearing about Stringer Bell coming to my city, you know what I mean? He's big party. At this time I'm 21 now. So actually 18, 19, 20. So I must have been like a junior in college now that I think about it. I was like a junior.
I was a junior or senior. I don't know. I think I was a junior. So anyway.
I found out about this party. So of course I was the first one that wanted to attend. I was like, what? Idris is coming to my town? Like, oh, I'm there. Now at the time, my friend was like 19, so she wasn't legal. The party was at a strip club. So I was just like, oh, I can't go alone. So listen, Idris was my husband. He is mine. And I was just like, listen, in my mind at 21, I was just like, we're going to that party. So I was able to get my aunt's ID. So I'm legal, but she wasn't, my friend. So I got my aunt's ID and gave it to her, and it worked. They were both chocolate. The guy at the security, you know, it ended up working. So pause there. Let me go back to what I was saying. So let's say that was on a Saturday night, the party, right? So earlier that day, I was like, I'm going to give him my number. And it just came over me. I was just like, I'm going to give him my number. I had already made up my mind that I was going to give this man my telephone number. So I remember I wrote out, it was about 2 lines. I didn't want to be all Joe and extra. So I ended up writing on like a little piece of paper like this. And I wrote like 2 lines like, hi, this is Keisha. You know, I'm an actress. You know, I'm an actor as well. And some shenanigans. I wrote like my number, you know what I mean, sealed it with a kiss, whatever, and I just put it in my pocket, and I was just like, okay, put it in the back pocket, and I was like, I'm ready, right? So I never really rock with House of Darion, but baby fat was like real big, so I had on like some baby fat jeans, and like, you know, back then it was a whole different world, right? But I was fly. Like, I got myself together. The curves was just right. Like, I was ready to meet my future husband. So we get to the party. Like I said, made it right through the line. They looked at the ID, and my friend actually got in. Wait, I hope I can't get arrested for saying that on camera. But if for any reason, I don't know, y'all send me bail money. So we get into the strip club, And now it's like, you know, it's just a party for tonight. So they rented it out for just a party. It's not like strippers everywhere. It's just a party. So how it's set up is you have the stage right here in the middle. It's not a huge place. Stage in the middle, and then people are like around this way. So I guess during their normal events, this would be like for the main attraction stripper. And then the people watching will be right here. And then they have like a few, maybe 5 tables going around, the little bistro tables. So we were like one of the first 20 people there because, again, I was not playing any games with Stringer Bell. Like, Idris, come on now. I'm already like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You know, like, you have to mentally prepare yourself. And so I got in, had a drink. At the time, the only drink that I knew to have was an amaretto sour. So that was pretty much all I was drinking. My friend was underage, so she didn't have anything. And so we was just having a good time, and I was just still nervous, like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet this man in person, right? Nothing like this. Oh Lord, I'm telling you, you might need this. I'm standing at the stage. So here's the stage, remember. I'm like standing right here. We just kind of vibing, talking, whatever. Idris is not anywhere in sight. We see, you know, the DJ table and the 1s and 2s, all that stuff. We seen all that posted on the stage. Like, you know, I'm thinking, okay, the DJ still got to come set up. Like, we know we got there on time. Usually, you know, females, we like to be like 2 hours late. I was not playing any games. I was not risking losing my husband over 2 hours. Like, no, over being fashionably late. I'm not doing that. We're there having a good time, me and my friend. And I noticed, you know, the equipment. And then I was like, the man that approached the stage was Idris. He was the DJ for the night. What? I was like, I didn't even notice on the flyer and like the big posters all over my city that it was saying that he was going to be the special guest DJ. All I kept seeing was special guest. Once I saw Idris Elba, once I saw Stringer Bell, I didn't read all of that. So I'm looking like, wait a minute, like, he's about to be the DJ? Like, are you kidding me? I was like, Eb, like my friend, right? I'm telling her like, oh my God. So many people didn't even realize that it was him at first. So, and I wasn't about to tell these bras, these thirsty bras, like, that my man was on the stage. Like, y'all still looking for him, meanwhile he right there. Hey, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. I just kept looking at him. He was setting up, and then he actually just started doing his DJ thing. Like, and he was doing so good. And of course, that's when people started noticing him and started acting crazy. I was like this the whole time. And then I got thirsty. And then I drank some more. And then I was like this. And then I just was staring, and I could not stop. And usually I'm not like that. I don't get starstruck. I'm not like, I'm just usually not really like that. But this, honey, let me tell you, this fine piece of dark chocolate, he looks so good. I was just staring at him like, it was crazy. I just kept staring at him. I couldn't help it. I could not help it. So we started making eye contact. Now, I would not say that it was because he was so in love with me at first sight. I think we were making eye contact at least like 5 times because I was staring at him. And I think it's a natural instinct. Somebody keeps staring at you. It's like you can't help but like look at them. Like, well, what? Like, you know what I mean? So we would make eye contact, and then I would look away. And it would make it again, I would look away. So finally, I was like, I remember that I had my paper, right? So I was such a creep. So I was like, oh my God, I have my number and I could give it to him, right? So I was just like, when we caught eye contact again, I was like, can I talk to you for a minute? And oh my God, when you look back on stuff, I swear it's so funny. And I think he read my lips because he had the music going and stuff, but my hand gesture, and he knew that I wanted him to come over. So that was so scary and embarrassing because I did not know if he would come. I didn't know if he would ignore me. Like, people saw me do that. Like, can you come here for a minute? The females around me, my friend, like, you know what I mean? You don't want to be sunned at an event. You know what I mean? You don't want to look like super extra Joe. You know what I mean? So I was just like, oh God, please. So I was just like, can I talk to you for a minute? And he came over. I was like, oh, I could not believe it. He walked from around the DJ booth and came over to me. I'm just, because I need to get through this video. He came over to me. Now remember, the stage is like this. I was right here. His booth was right here, right? It came to like here. Like, to like boob level, I guess, right? This is the thing. When he comes over to me, it's like I was not prepared. Like, you know that you wrote your number. Like, you know what I mean? You even know when you call him over, like, I'm calling him over. But it's a whole nother ball game when that person actually comes up to you, like, what's up? Like, what? I was just like, I could not. I was like, oh my God. I was just like, OMG, right? So I was just like, oh my God. He literally leaned over, almost like he was gonna kiss me, but that would be in my dream world. He actually leaned over and I was looking up at him and he was like, and I was just like, I wanted to give you something. Cause I think I wanted like an intro. I didn't want to just pull it out and embarrass myself. So I was like, I want to give you something. And then he was looking like, and he was like, okay. And he was looking to see like, well, what do you want to give me, right? So I'm like, oh my God. Like, he didn't walk away. So I just like reached into my back pocket and like pulled it out and handed it to him. And he took it. I was like, oh my God. Idris Elba has my phone number now. So the first thing you want to do when you do something completely out of your element, you want to just flee. You want to get out of there, right? So I didn't want to leave the full party because I still wanted to be a creep and watch him the whole night, but I didn't want to be that close anymore. So I got out of there. Me and my friend went to like the other side, right? Now before I walked away, I kind of like looked and like for half of a second just to like see what he did with it. He put it in his pocket. I was like, oh my God, he put it in his pocket. So I was just, I didn't even know like how to feel. I was just like, so we ended up having a good time. He did amazing. I was all in love or whatever. And oh, just the other thing. So like I said, the party was in my hometown, right? So there was a few of my family members there. And one family member, she doesn't even know this, so I'm going to try to be as, like, I don't know, but I don't care if she knows, but I don't know. But anyway, she kind of was like up at the stage while he was there. Kind of like how I was earlier, like, I guess we both were thirsty. So she was like at the stage as well. And I was just like, I hope she ain't looking at my man. Like, you know what I mean? Because in my mind, he was my man. So, at one point throughout, we all having a good time. And, I was watching him, of course. He looked at her and was like made this face and like stuck his tongue out. Who you sticking your tongue out at, Idris? Who you looking at? For one, that's my family member. For two, we're getting married next spring. What are you doing, Idris? Like, come on. But anyway, I digress. So, the thirst was real up in the place. It was like 1 million women there, maybe 10 guys. Like, everybody came out and showed out, came out to see this man. And he has my phone number in his pocket. Oh, that's another thing. Other females was trying to call him over. I did not see him go over to them. Like, at least 5 chicks was trying to get his attention, especially after they was watching me give him a piece of paper. I'm sure they was like, she gave him her number, like, now I'm about to try. Girl, it didn't happen. Like, it was like at least 5 girls that was like, come here, Idris, Idris. First of all, calm down. But he did not come. So I was just like, yes, yes. He know a black beautiful queen when he see one. Like, end of that night, that's when reality started to hit me. Like, this man has my number. He could call anytime. Is he staying in my state? Is he staying in my city tonight? Like, what if he calls me to show him around? I don't know. I was thinking crazy. I was just like, because I never saw past giving him my number. I never, and maybe I should have looking back in hindsight, but I just never thought about the aftermath. So I was just like, when I went back to school, like, so that was a Saturday, like that Sunday I caught like the Greyhound back to school. Life went on, you know, but that whole week I was just so nervous. I had a Nextel back then. I kept like looking at my phone like, oh my God, I couldn't concentrate in class. He almost just ruined my entire college career. It's like, nah. But I mean, I was like, oh my God, at any moment he could call me. So I just started having daydreams about me and him just going to the harbor, since it was right down the street, and he was already filming. You know what I mean? Like, it just would have been perfect, right? In my 21-year-old mind. So long story short, Idris did not call me. I would love to say I got some unknown calls, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't him. You know what I mean? I was answering like every call. But I like to believe that in a perfect world, he went home or went back to the hotel, and maybe it slipped his mind, and like the maid came and like took his jeans to dry cleaning, and like the dry cleaners threw away my number. Like, I had this whole thing, like, yeah, that's what happened. And because I'm not about to sit here and feel like he threw it away when he got home, like, no. He went home and was like, what is this? And was like, that was that chocolate goddess I saw. Like, you know what I mean? Even if he didn't call. But anyway, I'm so dramatic. I actually just love the idea that this man had something I wrote him with his person, as like technical people would say. Like, he had it on him. My life was already complete after that. Like, I'm good. But that is the time that I gave Idris Elba my phone number. I still feel like, you know, when I get all like rich and famous, I'm just gonna like run into him and like, you know, just flip my hair, and he'll try to talk to me, and I'm just be like, you had your time. Like, you missed it. You missed your window, Idris. You missed it. So that's in my dream world. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day and a beautiful week. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video so I'll know that you like it. I'll do more story times. I have so many more stories, like crazy stories. He was so fine though. Like, he was so fine. I could not believe that he had my number. Like, what? To me, in some ways, that's better than the call. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I think. That was fine. Like, the fact that we had that moment, like, in our lives, while we're breathing and living, we talked. What? And I didn't have to fight K. Michelle. I didn't have to deal with his baby mom, because it was before all of that. Like, good times. But Idris, if you're watching, call me. Don't worry about it. Just call me.